Hey everybody, it's Mr. Greg here from the Kindergarten Smorgasbord with our monthly live broadcast submissions for Smorgie Live. So thank you everybody for joining us tonight. We are very excited to be live again for another fun show. The way that this works best is the more questions you ask, the more conversations we get to have, and the more the questions you ask, the busier you keep the mister who's in the background moderating. So ask lots of questions. Let's keep him on his toes tonight. And he also has a helper in the chat. Chad from Male Kindergarten Teacher is always a big help. So let's ask a lot of questions tonight. Let's keep those two very busy in the background. So tonight, our live broadcast is once again sponsored by our amazing friends at ESGI. They're graciously giving away a one-year subscription to ESGI, which is a phenomenal online one-on-one assessment tool for your classroom. I have used it for 2 years. It is phenomenal. It makes assessing and data so easy. Everybody needs this in their classroom. So head over to the blog, thekindergartensmorgasbord.com, and you can get entered for the giveaway. We're also giving away $25 to my TPT store. And as a little added bonus, the winners tonight will get one of the new Kindergarten Smorgasbord t-shirts, and you'll be one of the first people to receive some of our brand new swag. And we just got some of this in this week. We got new lanyards and keychains. So make sure to head over to the blog, thekindergartensmorgasbord.com, and get entered. You do have to be present in the live chat to win. So at the end of the broadcast, we'll pick some winners, and you have to be here to win. So make sure to get entered. Make sure you're here in the end. So stay with us throughout the whole broadcast. Get those questions going. And before I take my first question, I have to tell a funny story. So last month, we had Chad from Male Kindergarten Teacher and Chris from Famous and First with us. And Chad was actually here at the house, so he was with us in person. And I actually had someone ask me if me and Chad had our hair and makeup done for the show. So I will tell you that no, we did not get our hair and makeup done. I, however, do get a haircut. It seems like every time that it's time for submissions live, just the way my haircut schedule falls, it always seems to be on the same day that we do submissions live. So while Tanya, my wonderful hairstylist, does not come and do my hair for the show, it does seem like I always get my haircut on the same day, which works out nice. But no one's getting their hair and makeup done for submissions live.
That's funny. You kind of do, but not really.
Yeah, in a weird kind of way, I'm getting my hair done, but it's not really for the show. But I kind of feel like now I should have hair and makeup come and hook me up before the show. I'm going to be like a Real House husband, like the Real Housewives on TV. They always have a hair and makeup people for everything.
That would be hilarious. Then we could do that on Periscope behind the scenes. You would totally be getting your hair done.
All I'm saying is I'm going to talk to the special guest for next month, who we will announce at the end of the show, and we're totally going to work something out to get hair and makeup done.
Quick question, Greg,
okay,
as we get started here. Joni Junick she actually asked me in the chat, but I don't know, unfortunately, Joni. But she wants to know, what's the name of the science book or resource that you started using last year as part of your morning meetings?
It's called, I can't remember the exact title. It's from Responsive Classroom, and I think it's something like Using Science in Morning Meeting. I'm sure if you go to Amazon and look up Science in Morning Meeting, it will show up. But it's from Responsive Classroom. It's one of their morning meeting books. But it's using science in your morning meetings. Has great, quick, hands-on little activities that you can do during morning meeting that are science related, so you can hit some science standards during your morning meeting.
Cool. Just a couple things also before we get started for those that might be new, your first time here. The way this works is, my name is Jason. I'm known as the Mister on the blog.
He's in the background. You can't see.
You can't see me, but I'm right behind the camera. And so what happens is you're going to ask the questions in the chat. I keep up with those questions and I read those aloud to Greg, and he answers those for you. Just so you know, I cannot get to every single question. I do as many as I can, but I can't ever catch them all. I do try to group them as much as possible so that we can kind of get them all asked at one time before we move on to the next subject. But if not, I will always try to come back to them Just wanted you to know kind of the way everything works and let you know that I do my best to get all the questions in. It's just me here with 86 people asking random questions. That's all. So it's kind of difficult to keep up with.
And he does such a good job every month. He handles it very well.
I try. All right. So that being said, let's get started. Kelly wants to know what apps you use with your Kindle Fire.
So we bought right before Christmas, around Black Friday maybe, Amazon had Kindles on sale for $35. So I bought a couple for my class, and then somebody graciously donated a couple. So we have 4. So what I decided to do with the Kindles, because I wasn't sure about apps and how they handled apps and how all of that. So the Kindles in my classroom are simply used for QR codes. So what I did was I downloaded a QR reader app. In our classroom, I use the app Scan. It's either 99 cents or $1.99, but I use that one because it works better, and it allows me to and the kids to flip it and use the front camera, which is a lot easier for the kids when they use QR codes. So the Kindle Fires in our classroom, that's now our QR code center. I thought my thinking in that was I wouldn't have to load a bunch of apps and it wouldn't slow them down. So that's now how we do QR codes. So that frees up our iPads to use apps and stuff for the kids. So some of the apps on the iPads, Letter School is a great one. It's level practice for letter formation and number formation. Montessori Words is a good one for segmenting and building words. Monkey Math School is a great math app. It lets the kids practice all sorts of math skills. Math Kid is great for adding and subtracting. Big Words is one that I use, and it really does exactly what it says. You type out big words, and it shows them to the kids big. So that's what I use for sight words. But those are our go-to apps. There are several others that we have. There's Sight Word Ninja, ABC Ninja, and Number Ninja. Those are free. The kids love those. And then another good free one that we're using a lot right now is Counting Board. And that one's great for working on numbers to 100. So those are some great apps, some free, some paid. But yeah, so what I did, I just used the Kindle Fires for the QR codes, and it has worked out great.
Are QR codes better than clickers?
I think they probably are very similar. From what little bit I know about clickers, I think the kids can hold them up, and your phone or device can actually read them from a distance. With QR codes, you have to be fairly close to the device. I don't really know much about clickers to really answer that. But I will say we use QR codes in our classroom all the time, and the kids eat them up. They love them. I love them because they're very engaging for the kids, and they're great because it's really easy to differentiate. So when I've created my QR codes, I always create them with 3 different recording sheets so that we can differentiate the QR code. So it's one set of cards, but it's 3 levels in the same set of cards. So it's super easy for me, super easy for the kids.
Teachers Learn To just completely called you out. She said you used the term centers.
Oh, sorry, Adam. Hippopotamuses. Hey, it was a snow day today. I get a pass.
Right.
And I didn't know I wasn't at school yesterday, or Monday. So come on. I've had 3 days off. I'm a little rusty.
Can you put a list of your apps on the blog, or is there already a list of apps on the blog?
I think there's a blog post with my apps, but I will check that, and then let me rephrase that. It needs updated. So I will do an updated blog post about the apps that I use in my classroom.
Awesome. All right, next question comes from Anjanette. Do you teach long vowels?
Yes.
If so, what kinds of things do you do?
So we just recently started working on vowels. I always wait until almost all of my kids have mastered all of their letters and sounds. And right now I have 3 that have not. 2 are very close. I also wait until about half the kids have mastered CVC words and blending those. So we just recently jumped into vowels. The first thing I do that has been the most effective is the Vowel Bat song on YouTube. So I introduced the 5 vowels. I explained to the class, to my little mustaches, that their 5 vowels are special letters, and they're special because they say their sound and their name. and then we learn the 5 vowels, and we use the vowel bat song. So that's kind of what we do for the first about a week to get them used to the 5 vowels so they know what they are. We say their sound and their name so they know what the 2 sounds that they say, and we sing the song. Then we move into me saying some words like bake and getting them to listen for the vowel sound. So they're identifying the vowel. And of course, you'll start to see that in hippopotamuses too. So as we're doing that in our whole group, in some of our hippopotamuses, they're sorting by the vowel sound. So they've got pictures and they're just sorting, listening for the vowel sound. So they get used to hearing that long vowel. And then we move into starting to blend words with the long vowels. So we did a little bit of that at the end of last week. So I started with some short CVC words, short vowel. We read those, and then I added the magic E and we blended it. We kind of talked about the magic E and how he makes the vowels say their name. And so then we'll work on that. And then that will pretty much be the next month or so of just blending words with the magic E. And another thing that I do once we get pretty good at blending with the magic E is I will start to show pictures, long vowel pictures on the smartboard. So let's say it's going to be a rope, and they have their whiteboards and dry erase markers, and they have to write the word rope. So it's kind of that gradual release model, and we're slowly adding in some rigor and some varying levels. So we're just going to start with learning the 5 vowels and what they say. Then we're going to hear the vowels and kind of identify what sound we're hearing. Then we're going to start to read the words with the vowels, and then we're going to move into writing the words with the vowels. So, and then of course, a lot of that stuff shows up in their hippopotamuses. I also, because it's the magic E, I did create a set of center activities, hippopotamus activities. I wish I had my little hippopotamus to hold up. I think that's a good idea. I think I need a stuffed hippopotamus. I think that's a good gift that the mister can work on, a stuffed hippopotamus. Anyway, so because it's magic E, I did create a set of magic themed hippopotamus activities for long vowels, including QR codes, because kids think they're magic. So it's been great. So we're doing it whole group, small group, and then of course they're doing it in their centers.
Do you teach all long vowels at one time?
Yes. Yep. I do them all at once. So it's A, E, I, O, U. So last Friday when we were blending with some of our long vowels, I did all 5 vowels. Just I don't spend a week on A, a week on E. We just do them all at once, all at the same time.
So the bat song is awesome, but do you have any ideas on something that may be a little more seasonal to fit with this time of year?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I have some in my, it's a bat song, but it's not bats. It's actually Val Bat, and it's sung to the tune of Batman. So it's not really like, it's not bats. It's sung to the Batman theme.
Got it.
So it's not really a seasonal thing. Yeah, the kids absolutely eat it up. If you haven't tried Val Bat, you have to try it. My kids beg for it every day. And I think Sherry Sloan is the one who wrote the Val Bat song, and she has some great resources to go along with that, including I think she makes capes with the letters on them, so the kids get to be the Val Bats.
Kim says maybe there will be a Cincy hippopotamus buddy soon.
Oh, that would be great.
That would be awesome. By the way, anybody that's watching, if you do want Cincy, that's something that I've started in the last few months. So if you're interested in that, it's a smorgasbord of sense. You can find me on Facebook. So just want to throw that out there in case anyone is interested. Next question. How do you introduce and work on addition and subtraction? Carla asked that question.
Hey, Carla, great question. And I was in Texas on Monday doing some professional development, and this is one of the things that we talked about. Our district puts out pacing guides for every 9 weeks. And so it tells us what standards we have to cover, what skills to cover that 9 weeks. And the way they set it up is we kind of introduce everything in the first 9 weeks, and then we build on it. So within the first 9 weeks of school, my students, my little stashes, are actually introduced to adding and subtracting. So the way we introduce adding at the beginning is very, very, very basic. We literally sit in a circle, and I teach them that adding just means put it together. And I say, if I have one finger, and I have one finger and I put them together, we have how many? And we say 2. So it's very, very, very basic and very concrete for them. So we'll work on that. I'll say, okay, I have 2 fingers. Now I have 1 finger and I put them together. How many do I have? And we'll have 3 fingers. And then we might do it the next day with cubes. But still very concrete. I have 2 cubes. I have 1 cube. I put them together and I have 3. Same with subtraction. We teach them that it's take it apart. So I might say I have, 3 fingers and I'm going to take 1 away. And how many do I have left? So introducing it at the beginning is very basic, very simple, very concrete. And then, so we'll practice that and we'll stick to that very concrete, hands-on way of working with adding and subtracting until about this time of the year. And now we'll start adding in the equations and the written equations and adding, drawing pictures to solve the equation. We started using dice. So we're taking it a little bit further right now, but it's still, even now, even though we've practiced and practiced and practiced very concretely, the kids are still using a lot of manipulatives and they're still using their fingers. So we just continue to work on it throughout the year. In April and May is when we really start to push the fluency. So we really work on trying to get them to be a little bit faster, maybe not use their fingers as much. But really, early on, introduce it very, very basic, concrete. The fingers are great because it's right there. It's easy for the kids. Use the manipulatives, and then you can slowly start to add in some more of that abstract thinking with adding and subtracting. And then again, lots of practice. It goes into our math and math hippopotamuses, so they're working on it a lot on their own in hippopotamuses.
Krista wants to know how your sight word balls are working out.
Oh, they're amazing. The kids love them. They're fascinated by them. So, and I need to write a blog post about this because I haven't yet. But when Chad was here, we had a big silhouette party, the silhouette cameo. If you don't know what that is, it cuts stuff out, like whatever you can make your computer design, it will cut it out. Don't ask me much about it because I'm still scared of that thing. But I use it. I'm figuring it out. But what I did was I bought some Christmas ornaments after Christmas, and I cut out all 100 of our sight words on vinyl, and I cut them out and stuck them to the ornaments. And then my TBFF Jenny, and I'm hoping that we're still live because we just lost all of our viewers.
It still says 100 watching on.
Okay, so
if no one can see, please.
Oh, they're back. There we go.
Okay.
Sorry. So all 100 of them. So I made 100 sight word balls, and then my TBFF Jenny and the Mister came into my classroom and untangled all 100 of them because I tied the fishing wire on, and then threw them all in a bag. And it was like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Like we lifted it out of the bag, and it was like a giant blob of Christmas ornaments. So then Jason and Jenny untangled them and hung all 100 of them from the ceiling in my classroom. So now hanging from our ceiling, we have 100 sight word balls. And so the stashes walk around with their clipboard and their paper and their pen, and they read and write the sight words. And the plan is to leave them up all year because I made all 100 of them. So, but yeah, the kids love them, and I'm loving it, and it's a lot of fun.
How many sight words are the stashes held accountable for?
We have to learn 100.
Okay. So that's 100 that you put on there.
We do 100 sight words in kindergarten. I think. I don't know. Sight words have been a little frustrating for me this year because I think they've handed me 3 or 4 different sight word lists that we're supposed to be using. And at one point it might have been 88 words, but now it might be 100. So in my classroom, we're learning 100 sight words with the list that I had last year from my district.
Next question is from Valerie. Interesting question here.
Uh-oh.
Do you think that the new curriculum or standards are crushing the kids in preschool and kindergarten? Are you pro preschool, or it doesn't matter?
So here's my take on Common Core standards or TEKS standards or whatever standards you use in your state. First of all, we know they're not always developmentally appropriate. We're professionals. We understand kids. We know how kids learn. We understand their brains. We see what they're able to do. we also understand that some kids aren't going to be developmentally reading at the end of the year or writing. We understand that, but we still push them to do their very best. So here's my take on this. And I actually talked about this on Monday. The standards are what the standards are. I'm not in charge. I'm in charge of my classroom, but I'm not in charge. I can't do anything about the standards. So it's my job to find ways to make the standards fun and accessible and kid-friendly, and make it so that it works for my students. The standards are a blueprint. They're our guide. They tell us what the kids need to learn. They don't necessarily tell us how we have to teach it. So I think as educators, I think we have to find ways to take the standards and make them accessible to all of our kids, and to teach it in a way that it's accessible for our kids, and it works for our kids, and it helps our kids grow. I know that this is a big discussion and there's a lot of controversy around this, but the standards are there for a reason. But it's up to us to make it fun and engaging for our kids. That's kind of where our choice of activities or lessons, whether it's hands-on or the worksheet, and you all know how I feel about that. But we have to work with what we have. So we have the standards, we have to teach them. So we need to find ways to make them fun. And so that's why I'm always looking for ideas and different ways. So I made 100 sight word balls. It's new, it's different. The kids love new and different. So we just have to keep coming up with ways to make the standards fun and make them work for our kids. And that's what we're here for. We're here for the kids. And so if we're told to teach them this standard, then let's find ways to make that standard fun and engaging, and let's make it work for our kids, and let's reach all of our kids. As far as preschool or pre-K, I'm all for it. If it's available, I think go for it. Especially mainly for that social part, but definitely getting some academics too in pre-K. But yeah, I'm a big fan of pre-K.
So kind of along those same lines, and talking more about the teacher side of things. Naomi wants to know if you have any advice for a teacher that's feeling defeated. She has a very difficult student, hitting her, spitting on her, trashes her classroom, etc., and just not a lot of support from administration.
First of all, Naomi, I hate to hear that. That always frustrates me and makes me very upset. But I also will say that I have been there, done that, have that t-shirt. A couple of things, and I know this sounds very common sense, but first of all, document everything. Document, and then document some more. Secondly, go to your admin and keep going to them. Something that I always found to be effective was when I would speak to my admin, I would not necessarily make it about me. I always try to make it about the kids and their education and their safety. And the other thing is with this kid, and I don't know anything about the situation, but maybe work on building a relationship with him or her. Maybe eat lunch with him or her once a week. Find out what interests them, and try to bring those things into the classroom. Maybe try to spend some time with them outside of the classroom if they play sports or something. But try to form a relationship with them. The key to getting our kids to do anything we want them to do is they have to know that we love them and care for them. So I think that's the key at this point with this little guy is build a relationship. Let him know that you love him and that you care about him. And I always tell my kids, no matter what you do today, it's not going to make me love you any less. So if you make a bad choice, that's okay. I'm still going to love you the same, and we're still going to be in here together, and I'm still going to be your teacher, and I'm still going to help you, and tomorrow's a new day. So really work hard to build that relationship with him or her, and I think that will help a lot. I think the kids just need to know that we love them, and that we're there for them, and that we care for them, and that we want to help them in any way possible. And also, always look for the positive. Even in the worst day, there's always one little positive that sticks out. Find that positive and focus on that positive. I went through several really rough years in teaching, and that was how I got through it. I always tried to find that one little positive moment in every day, and I focused on that positive, and that's how you get through it. And remember, we're here for the kids, and even when they're throwing chairs at us, deep down we love them and we care about them. We just want to help. So really try to build a relationship with him, and I think you might be surprised at how that helps.
So also, someone commented and said, try to get the parents.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the thing is, we never know what's going on at home. We never know what the situation outside of our classroom is. The parents are key.
Also, you've got the hashtag Happy Classrooms.
Yes.
If you need a little motivation.
Yep. So yeah. So on those days when you're down and frustrated and you feel like the world's against you, go on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook and look at the hashtag Happy Classrooms and just go through and read those Happy Classroom posts every day. And it will just make you feel so good. It's so uplifting. And if you don't know about Happy Classrooms, Kayla, Delzer, and I started this mission at the beginning of the year. We wanted to change the conversation around education. And we wanted, instead of all of the negativity on social media about teachers, oh, by the way, school district, stop counting down the days until summer. That makes us all look horrible. Anyway, literally, I saw a post today where a school district is counting down the days until summer on their Facebook page. That sends a really bad message to parents. So Happy Classrooms. So go on social media every day, post one positive, happy moment from your classroom, and use the hashtag Happy Classrooms so that we can change this conversation and we can show the world the awesome things that happen in our classrooms every day. The only people who really, truly know what goes on in our classrooms are the people in our classrooms. It's us. It's time that teachers take over the conversation. So go to social media every single day, post a happy moment from your classroom, and use the hashtag Happy Classrooms. And every day, go look at those hashtags and see the amazing things that are happening every day. It really will make you feel a lot better.
If you haven't went to the blog and entered for the giveaway tonight, please be sure to go ahead and do that now. Just go to the kindergartensmorgasbord.com. You'll see the link there to enter the Rafflecopter giveaway. Go there and do that now. You only have about 17 minutes left to enter for the giveaway. Lots of chat going on tonight in the chat box about ESGI. So everyone is loving some ESGI, talking all about it. Tell them a little bit about the mega giveaway as well that ESGI is doing. Tonight is the last night for the mega giveaway. So
ESGI has been doing this mega giveaway for the past few weeks, and tomorrow's the last day.
Tonight's the last night.
Tonight is the last night you can enter. They're giving away some ESGI licenses, and they're giving away iPads and an iPad kiosk. I don't think I can enter to win because I was part of the giveaway, but I want to win an iPad kiosk. So you can go to ESGI, to their website and their blog, and you can see how to enter. But you have to do it tonight. So after this is over, you can go to ESGI's website and see how to enter for their mega giveaway. If you haven't used ESGI, you need to sign up for the 60-day free trial. When you sign up for that 60-day free trial, use the code B2442. B as in boy, 2442. Seriously, it makes all of your assessing and your data collection super simple. It saves you a ton of time. It will become one of your best friends in your classroom, besides glitter and hippopotamuses. But ESGI is phenomenal. They're an amazing company. They love teachers. They love kids. And they have this amazing product that truly makes teaching so much easier. And it's a lifesaver. So everybody needs to sign up for the 60-day free trial and you'll be hooked. I promise.
And I've seen multiple people say that in the chat tonight. They're like, oh my God, I got the 60-day free trial and now it's run out. I've got to have it. I had it last quarter. I've got to have it this quarter.
Once you give it a shot, and you won't be able to give it up. But yeah, so sign up for that 60-day free trial. You can actually go to the blog, thekindergartensmorgasbord.com, and click on the ESGI logo, and you can sign up for your 60-day free trial that way also.
That's probably the easiest way to get there, is just go to the kindergarten.
So just go to the blog, and then you'll see ESGI on the right side, and you can click on that, and it will take you right to the website so you can sign up for your free trial.
Melinda from ESGI wants
Melinda.
to know how in the world you stay pumped up. How do you not run out of gas?
Well, I do sometimes. You just don't see it. And sometimes the mister has to pull my plug and make me take some time. And usually my body tells me to take some time, which is why today's snow day was a blessing. Between being sick over the weekend and then traveling and presenting and then the Madonna concert, my body was like, whoa, we need a break. So it was nice to have a little bit of downtime. But I get so pumped up about teaching, and I love teaching. And I love being able to share my passion and my excitement with about teaching. And so it always keeps me going. But it is nice to sometimes just to unwind and relax and rest. And we all need that. But I can't help it. I just love teaching, and I'm always coming up with ideas to do stuff. And I make the mister do stuff all the time. And I'm always, I don't know, I just love it. And so it keeps me going.
All right, let's try to blow through some of these questions
All
here. Kathleen says that they're looking into getting a new reading series. She wants to know if you used one, and if so, which one, and do you like it?
We have, in our district, we use Journeys. It is in our school, we have it. I do not use it. I'm personally not a fan of reading series or basals. But I use Journeys. Oh, that's what we have. I don't use it. It's in our district. In the past, we had Treasures. It was okay, and I'm sure Journeys is okay. But maybe some people in the chat can share some that they have that they like. I don't use them, and so I can't really say. I say don't use them at all, but that's me. So maybe some people in the chat have some that they like that they can share.
Shayna wants to know if you have any advice for kiddos that just can't stay attentive, like even working one-on-one with them. She has a sweetie that looks around everywhere, but on the app or paper that they're using.
Oh yeah, they're 5. Mine are my favorite are the ones who sit on the floor and chew on their shoestrings and their pants and their clothes and their fingers and bother their neighbors. They're 5, and I think, maybe shorten the duration. Maybe work with that little sweetie for 5 minutes and let them go off and do something else and bring them back. So you might just have to kind of modify. And instead of working with her, for 10 minutes on something, work with her for 5 minutes and send her away. Maybe try to do a few more brain breaks throughout the day, get them up and moving. Stand on your table and sing and dance. Maybe just kind of shorten. And I've had to do this with kids in the past. So instead of working with them in a setting for 10 minutes, I get 5 minutes out of them. I send them off to do something else, and I bring them back later and do 5 more minutes. So just, maybe shorten the time and, try to keep them up and moving as much as possible. That always helps.
Susan wants to know if you work with themes for social studies or do you use a series?
We do. Our social studies is integrated into our literacy block. So we more themes than anything. We don't have a curriculum. We don't really have, we have some, it's in our pacing guides a little bit to kind of tell us, hey, we kind of broadly talk about this. But we do a lot of themes. So like do some all about me, community stuff at the beginning of the year, community helpers, of course, some, history with, right now we've been doing Martin Luther King. We'll do some Black history next month. We'll do maps in the spring. We do, of course, holidays around the world, cultures. So more themes, but it's integrated into our literacy block.
Do you have any other ideas besides themes? Because she's kind of trying to get away from themes, I think, or wanting just different ideas besides themes.
I think you can integrate it really into anything you're doing. And I think with social studies, it can be themed. You can do fun things. I don't know, because it really depends on what your curriculum says and kind of what you're looking for. We just do themes because it's easier for us, and it's easier for me. It keeps me organized and helps me plan. We do a big maps project in the spring that's always fun. We do the me on the map project, and so we do Google Earth. And so we zoom in on Google Earth through our school, and then we zoom out to the city, and then we zoom out to our county and our state, to the country, the continent, and then to Earth. So we do a lot of that, and then of course the kids get to make their own little maps. We start with a small circle and we build out to the big circles. So just take a social studies standard that you have to teach. Pinterest is great. Just Google ideas for those. But because ours is integrated, we naturally kind of gravitate toward themes because it works better with integrating it into our literacy.
All right, homework. What do you think about homework in kindergarten? And if you do it, do you differentiate it, or does everybody get the same thing?
Great question. So let me tell you about my recent epiphany about homework. So for as long as I can remember in kindergarten, we've sent home homework. It was always one math sheet and one literacy sheet. And the past couple of years, I started using morning work from the Printable Princess because it aligned almost perfectly to what we were working on throughout the year. And what I loved about it was that the clip art and the graphics and everything was consistent. So I knew that the kids could do it successfully at home. And I was always a believer in homework. I thought, it's great for them. They need to get used to doing homework. They need to practice. It's responsibility. And then I started reading some stuff and doing some research and started seeing, I saw a friend who was having some frustrations with his son and the amount of homework that his son was doing. And it got me to thinking, like, is that what's happening at home with my 5-year-olds? Like, even with the stuff that's super consistent, like, is it still causing frustration? And so I started doing some research, and the research, it's pretty strong that homework isn't really beneficial. Even when, like, my argument was that it's great for responsibility, like they need that responsibility, they need to learn that. The research doesn't even really support that for homework for kindergarten. So I went to my principal at the beginning of the semester and said, I'd kind of like to do away with homework and see what happens. So we're doing a 2-month trial right now with no homework. So we did away with homework in my class. I do still ask the parents to practice sight words and read with the kids. And what I've also started doing is I send out a note on Remind. We use the Remind app to communicate with parents. And so I send a message on Remind every day and let the parents know what we talked about in class that day. So if we learned about polar bears and subtraction, I let the parents know, hey, today we did polar bears and subtraction. So talk to your kids about those tonight. So that there's at least a conversation. And when the parents say, hey, what'd you do at school today? And the kid says, nothing. The parents will be like, oh, but did you learn about polar bears? So that there's at least a conversation going on about school, but there's no structured homework going home. So at the end of the 2 months, we're gonna look and see if we noticed any major change in the data, or if I noticed that the kids aren't progressing or whatever. So as of right now, we're not doing any homework, and I like it. It's a little bit easier. It's a little bit less paperwork for me to manage. The kids they love it. They're excited about it. The parents were on board. So as of right now, we're not doing homework in my class. It's going well, but I will keep you updated on that in a couple of months.
Brooke wants to know if Tennessee gives a kindergarten readiness assessment. If not, what type of ready assessments do they get?
We do not. I think it's up to each district. Our district gives the Brigance when the kids are registering, but I never see that data. So I don't know. I think it's just to kind of give them an idea of what the kids are doing as they come in, but I never see that. So what we do with our kids right at the beginning of the year is we do ESGI, and we give them a quick beginning of the year assessment on letters, sounds, numbers, counting, shapes, colors, writing their name, just very basic stuff to kind of get an idea of where they are at the beginning of the year. But as far as the state, there's not one set assessment for them, a readiness assessment. You have 5 minutes to enter for the giveaway. So make sure to head over to the blog, thekindergartensmorgasbord.com, and get entered. So you can win either 1 year, subscription to ESGI and $25 to my TPT store, and some cool Smorgie swag.
So speaking of readiness, and moving on to the next grade, what are your thoughts on retention in kindergarten?
I think that for some kids, they absolutely need it. And I think if they absolutely need it, and if everybody's on board, I think sometimes we're never going to get the powers that be on board. But I think that for some of our kids, I think they absolutely need it. And if they absolutely need it, then that's what we need to do for them, because it's our job to do everything we can for our kids to make sure that they're ready and prepared. And if they need an extra year in kindergarten, then that's what they need. I'm all for it. I know some people, I know. But I've had a couple in the past that we've retained, and they were able to go after 2 years of kindergarten and be very successful. It didn't affect them at all. So I'm all for it. If it will benefit the kids and it's in their best interest, then let's do it.
So we had a question earlier in the chat that I didn't ask yet, because it usually leads into a much larger, longer conversation about the no desk, no chairs in the classroom.
Surprise, it's back.
They wanted to know, like, what do you do when the kids are eating and having snacks and those kinds of things. One thing that I want to mention about that is, and we get these questions all the time on Facebook and everywhere, wanting to know all about it. And just a little FYI, if you're wanting to know what Greg thinks about most things, you can just go to google.com and type in no desk, no chairs, kindergarten smorgasbord, and the search is going to find that blog post for you, and you can pull it up and you can read all about it.
Yeah.
There's also videos. So whatever your question may be, if you want to find Mr. Greg's lesson template, right? You can find it just by Googling Mr. Greg lesson template. You can Google just about anything that you're trying to find. You can Google it and you're going to find it that way. So maybe try that from time to time if you have a question about something, and you might be able to find it really quick that way. If you can't, then please do shoot us a message, and we'll be more than happy to answer it. It just may save you some time and get you a faster answer. But really quick, just talk about what you do when it's snack time. Okay,
so no tables, no desks. I love it. I'm a huge advocate. I think everybody should be going to alternative seating, no tables, no desks. But for snack time, what we do, we last year in my classroom, we did no tables, no desks. We ate breakfast in the classroom. So what I've done is I have restaurant trays, like from fast food restaurants, and we eat on those. So the food is not on the floor. The trays contain spills, and the kids are trained to wipe their own tray every day with a wipe so that they're clean and sanitized. And I bring them home every Friday, and we wash those and keep them nice and clean. I also get asked about painting. We paint on the restaurant trays also. If you can borrow them from McDonald's. Yeah, you can borrow them. Every time you go to eat, just borrow one.
So kind of staying along that same line, do your kids have book tubs and bins?
Yes.
Also, do you do daily readers workshop? And if so, what does that look like?
Yes, we do. All of my kids have a book bag. So I went with bags because they take up less space. So we just have a basket, from Big Lots or the Dollar Tree. And all of the book bags are in there, and it just sits up by my guided reading table. So anytime the kids want to read from their book bag, they just grab their book bag. We do balanced literacy. So we'll do some whole group instruction, and then the kids go off to their hippopotamuses or centers, and I pull groups for guided reading. So and then in guided reading, we're gonna read, of course. We're gonna work on decoding strategies, comprehension, some word work, and a little bit of writing. But most of my literacy instruction is done in small groups.
Does the district require you to use accelerated reading?
No.
Apparently Shayna's does. Yeah, she said she dislikes it greatly, but they're required to use it.
Yeah, I know a lot. There are mixed views on it. Yeah, we don't have to use it, so I'm thankful for that.
What are your thoughts on Classroom Dojo?
I have never used it, so I can't say much about it. I will give them a big shout out because they recently, I recently got to do a Google Hangout with them, and they have, they are just released a set of videos, and I'm getting ready to do a blog post for them they've just released a really cool set of videos about growth mindset for kids. So I actually got to see the first video before it was released, and it talks about, it's a little cartoon. It's a fantastic video, and it talks about basically like exercising our brain and growing that muscle. So they're really big on empowering kids and really helping getting kids and teachers talking about the growth mindset. So I will give them a big shout out for that. So you definitely need to check out those videos, and I'll be doing a blog post tomorrow on Class Dojo and their new videos for growth mindset. But yeah, check them out. I know a lot of people use Class Dojo and love it. So yeah, check it out. I don't know anything about it, so I can't say much about it.
Jenny wants to know, what do you do when you have a lesson plan set up and it just totally flops?
You just let it flop and you go with it. And you say, and you let the kids know, like, be like, yo guys, this is not working. This is not what I wanted. And this is my fault. I'm not doing a good job of presenting this to you. I'm not doing a good job of teaching it to you. So let's start over. Let's stop. Let's do something else. I always think back to this lesson that I had a couple years ago, and I had made some numbers using some Snapcube clip art that I had found. And this was right before, this was before I was knew anything about creating anything. And I thought, well, this would be great. It was first or second week of school. I thought it'd be great to introduce snap cubes and numbers. So I made all of these number pictures, and we were gonna use our cubes to build the numbers. And about 7 minutes into the lesson, it went down in flames hard. And we stopped, and I was like, all right, this is not working. The pictures were too little. We didn't have enough cubes. I was like, you know what, guys? This is all Mr. Greg's fault. I didn't the pictures aren't good enough. We don't have enough cubes. I didn't get you guys ready. So we're just gonna stop. I'm gonna let you guys play with the cubes, and we'll come back and try this again when Mr. Greg has it ready and that it's been better prepared. So if a lesson is flopping, stop. It's okay. Let it go. We're not perfect. We're humans, and we teach little humans. And so things are never gonna be perfect. Things never go the way we want to. But if it's flopping and it's not working, stop, own it. And I think owning that and letting the kids see that it's not working and that it's okay to stop is a more powerful lesson than anything you could have been teaching.
Laura wants to know what you do for word study, and do you give tests on Fridays?
For word study, we use Words Their Way. It's actually word sorts, and so they're sorting by sounds and features. So they might be sorting by beginning sound or the middle vowel, short and long vowels, blends and digraphs. It starts with picture sorts and then slowly moves into words. So that's what we do for word study. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of the week, they're writing the words and pictures in their notebooks, but we do not give spelling tests on word study. I'm a huge fan of Words Their Way. You can get the books on Amazon. It makes a big, 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 big impact in their writing. So Words Their Way, and you can also get the book, Word Journeys, that will show you how to set it up and how to do some assessments so you can differentiate your word study.
Kara wants to know if you ever do pen pals or pen buddies with other schools, other classrooms.
Oh yeah, we definitely have. We love it.
Trina just asked if we're going to do any more board meetings here at the house.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, probably not till the summer.
Yeah, maybe in the summer. We have a 2-week spring break, so we'll try to pull one together during spring break. But yeah, we will definitely do more board meetings this summer.
Here's a good question. Michelle wants to know, do all students call their teachers by their first name? Like, did you go by Mr. Greg? If not, why? What's the story behind you being called Mr. Greg?
It's funny, like the questions and stuff that, like, we talked about this Monday also. So I'm the only person in our building that's called Mr. Greg, and because I'm the only Mr. Greg. But
I was gonna say, I hope there's not more. Never mind, I was being a smart butt.
I'm the only person who goes by their first name, and the reason it came about was a few years ago when the mister and I were getting married, and I went to the principal and I said, hey, I went to her before school started, and I was like, we're going to get married in October, and I'm going to, change my name to Warren. I said, so I think I'm just going to have the kids call me Mr. Greg, so we eliminate any confusion in October when I change my name. And she was like, oh yeah, absolutely, totally, that's totally okay. So that's where it came from. So it really it was like a practical thing, and now it's just stuck. And so I'm just Mr. Greg. And I was telling somebody this, inevitably every year I have one or two that they just decide randomly during the year they're going to drop the Mr. and I just become Greg.
What I think is funny is we'll be at a conference or something, or we'll sometimes even doing submissions live. I'll be asking a question and I want to address him and I'll call him Mr. Greg. And it's very weird because I'm his husband. Shouldn't be calling him Mr. Greg. It just comes out that way.
The last time our niece and nephew were here hanging out, he called me Mr. Greg several times.
Yeah. I guess because I was talking to kids.
Yeah.
Instead of Uncle Greg, I said, go ask Mr. Greg. Do you have a blog post on your Foodie Fun Friday?
I don't have a single blog post on Foodie Fun Friday, but I do have lots of blog posts about different things we've done on Foodie Fun Friday.
I think it'd be a good idea to make do a blog post just about Foodie Fun Fridays.
I can do that.
Some ideas surrounding it.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I'll make a make a note.
We love our Foodie Fun Fridays.
Well, the giveaway has closed. Actually, it closed 6 minutes ago. So, do we want to?
Let's do a few more questions.
Do some more questions.
See if we can get through a few more.
Okay.
It's the lightning round, and as Sophia on the Golden Girls, who said they use real lightning.
Well, you caught me off guard here. I didn't have any more lined up. I know they're up here though. Let me just find some. Shut up! I thought we were going to be wrapping up. Okay. Have you asked parents of children with ADHD in your classrooms or other similar disabilities how they like it?
As far as the ADD, ADHD, I did have a little boy last year who was ADHD, and probably a couple that, even though they hadn't been diagnosed, they could have been, and it made a tremendous impact for them because they're able to move and fidget and wiggle and get all of that energy out, and it doesn't cause a lot of disruption. I've not had any kids with any kind of other disabilities in my classroom, so that's not been an issue. And I'm pretty sure that person it must be talking about no tables, no desks. I get asked that a lot. Yeah. We do have tables. I have a guided reading table, and I kept one table in the classroom. So we do have the option of sitting at a table if someone wants to sit at a table. They do have that option.
Stephanie wants to know, or she says that she knows that you use whole brain teaching rules.
Yes.
Do you use any of their other techniques?
I have used some of their attention getters. They have some really, really good attention getters. I've used some of their sight word activities in the past. Whole brain teaching, they have tons of great classroom management stuff. If you go to their website, they're phenomenal. We use their 5 classroom rules mainly because of rule number 5, which is rule number 5 is keep your dear teacher happy. I mean, so really you could really have one rule. If I'm not happy, we're not doing something right. So you have to keep me happy and we're all good. I love whole brain teaching. I think they have phenomenal resources and it's all free. So you can check out their website.
Valerie asked if you do close reading and how you feel about it.
I do not do close reading because I think we're always doing close reading. And I think a lot of what we do in guided reading when we're working, one-on-one with our kids on decoding strategies for that child and working with comprehension and writing and word study for that kid, we're doing close reading. So in my opinion, I think we're already doing it. So it's not, I just don't call it that, but it's what we're already doing.
Michelle wants to know if you send home something like a book in a bag for reading, for like reading their Just Right books at home. So every week in my class, we read an emergent reader as part of our shared reading. And I always write those and post those on my blog for free every Sunday. So if you need, and they're all sight word based. So if you need sight word based emergent readers, they're on the blog and you can search for emergent readers and they pop up. So we read that emergent reader all week. On Thursday, I send that home with the kids. So they've had 4 days of practice with it in the classroom and then it goes home with them on Thursdays. So every Thursday they get to take home a book. Do you give the MAP test, MAP test?
No. We use Ames Web.
I think we've got all of
What?
unless there's some new questions. I think we got all.
We got them all. That's a first. We never answer all the questions.
I know. I'm sure I've missed a few somewhere along the way. But I think I got most of them. Wow. Yay!
Well, that's a first.
Oh no! Here's a bunch of new ones.
Oh.
Mary wants to know: did your school have an ESL teacher? Does your school have an ESL teacher? What does she do with them? Pull out or inclusion?
We do not. I am ESL certified. Our district requires that we have, depending on the school and the population, you have to have at least one ESL certified teacher in every grade level. At my school, a large majority of our kids are ESL, so most of our teachers are ESL certified. So none of my kids get pulled out. I am the ESL teacher. So I work with my kids all day.
How do you get your admin and other teachers on board for more fun learning?
I'm very blessed because my admin supports me in everything I do. And he even tells me that I need to be more out of the box and more innovative. So he's always pushing me to try and do new things. And then I think the way to get other people on board is just to do it and show them the results. Show them that you did it, it worked, you had fun, the kids had fun, the parents loved it, and then at the end of the day, the data. Let that speak for itself. So my thing is open your door and teach on. The door is open, they can see that you're doing fun stuff, they can see you're doing hands-on stuff, they can see that you're not doing the worksheets, but they can see that your kids are still learning, they're having fun, and the data is supporting everything you do. So don't worry about what other people are doing in their classrooms. You do what you know is best for your kids. Do the fun stuff, put on the costumes, act silly and goofy, and let other people see you doing it, and let other people see that it works, and back yourself up with data. And that's the best way to get other people on board.
What are some favorite activities for 100th Day?
Oh, first of all, you have to dress like you're 100. I'm sorry, Butters is over here gnawing his foot off, and I'm trying to get him to stop. Dress like a 100-year-old person. Use the app Aging Booth. It takes your picture and it makes you look like you're 100. But be careful because sometimes the kids are scared of themselves when they're 100. We make a 100th-day hat. So they get, it ends up looking like the Pope's hat, not intentionally. But they get 10 strips of paper, and they have to put 10 things on that strip of paper. So 10 times 10 is 100. We do 100 snacks. We do 100 hugs, 100 handshakes, 100 high fives, 100 steps. We find 100 kisses around the classroom. I have in my TPT store, I have a set of 100th Day centers featuring, are you ready for this? The Golden Girls, because
they're so much fun.
Seriously, they're the best.
And everybody, we are big fans of the Golden Girls around here. Such big fans that I even have an iPhone case. Oh yeah, baby, I love it.
So we bust out the Golden Girls for the 100th Day, and I also have a 100th Day Fiesta pack creation on in my TPT store, and in that there's a book that we write, and we draw pictures of everything we did for the 100th Day, and of course the big TPT sale is happening today and tomorrow, so everything in my store is 20% off, and you use the code START16 and you save an extra 10% off. So check those out. Yeah. And our 100th Day, as of right now, has been pushed back by 1 day, probably 2 to 3 more days because of snow. But yeah.
So Tiffany just said that she doesn't think her questions are being seen. So Tiffany, if you have a question, I probably did miss it somewhere. So please ask it again in the chat and we'll get to it. But we do have to start wrapping up here. We're nearing our 8 o'clock hour, 9 o'clock on the East Coast. Let's end with a fun question. How are you coming on your New Year's goals? Tattoo?
Nope, no tattoo yet. I can't do it. I'm scared. I want to so bad. I have it picked out. I'm ready. I just can't do it.
Ames Web. Tiffany wants to know about Ames Web.
Ames Web is very, very similar to Dibbles. So they go 3 times a year, and they're testing letters, sounds, segmenting, they might even do another one. There might be a fourth one that I'm forgetting, but really it's like map testing or dibbles testing. So it's kind of benchmarking them, and that's how we form our intervention groups, and kind of tells us who needs extra help. Not that I need a test to know who needs extra help, but that's what we do.
And now everybody's saying, go for it, Mr. Greg, you can do it, be brave. I've got 2. My first one hurt really bad. The second one didn't hurt at all. So the guy that did my second one is the one that's going to end up doing Greg's if he will ever do it.
Okay, I'll do it.
He wants me to call and make the appointment and set it all up, and then he just wants to go. No, I told him, if you're going to do it, you've got to do it all. Be on board 100% or don't do it.
Okay, I'll do it. Fine, I'll do it.
All right, let's do our giveaways.
All right. So thank you again to our friends at ESGI for always supporting us and always being a sponsor of Submissions Live. They truly are a phenomenal company. We love them to pieces. I know Melinda's here tonight in the chat. Everybody say hi to Melinda. We love Melinda.
I think Kristen might be here as well.
Oh, and Kristen's here. We love Kristen.
Maybe Rochelle. I don't know.
And hi, Rochelle. I think all of ESGI might be here tonight. That would be a fun guest. Like, I need to get Greg from ESGI to be a special guest one month.
That would be fun.
So ESGI was actually created by a male kindergarten teacher from Indiana who's named Greg. So, I'm a male kindergarten teacher from Indiana named Greg. So that would be fun. We'll have to work that out. But again, ESGI is phenomenal. If you want to try the 60-day free trial, go to my blog, thekindergartensmorgasbord.com. On the right side, you'll see the ESGI logo. Click on that, and you can do your 60-day free trial. If you go to their website, you can put in the code B as in boy 2442 and do your free trial that way. ESGI is phenomenal. Everybody needs it in their classroom. It saves you a ton of time on your assessing and your data. It sends home personalized letters to parents and personalized flashcards. It truly is phenomenal, so you need to give it a shot. So let's give it away.
Awesome. Let's do it. All right. So our winner is come on, Rafflecopter, give us a winner. Sharice Davis. Sharice Davis, you have won a free year of ESGI. I need you to let me know if you're in the chat, please.
All right, Sharice. So if you're in the chat, say something to Jason so that we know you're here and that we can set you up with your prize. And we'll also, Sharice, get your address and we'll send you some good Smorgie swag.
While we're waiting on Sharice, let's go ahead and do the TPT store.
All right, so we'll give away $25 to my TPT store. And just a reminder, TPT is having a big sale today and tomorrow. All of my stuff is 20% off. And with the code START16, you can save an extra 10% off. And I've already shopped once, and I'll probably shop again.
Yes, you probably will. All right, so our winner for the TPT giveaway is Laurie Wood. Laurie Wood. Email address is lswood1.
All right, Laurie, if you're in the chat, congratulations. You won a year of, you won $25 to my TPT store. So if you're in the chat, say something to Jason so he'll know you're here. And while we're waiting to see if either one of those people are here.
You want to talk about next month? The date is going to be
next month,
February 17th.
Look, every month people always ask us, what are we doing this next month? When are we doing this? So here's what we're doing. We had a meeting with all the company, the Doodles, the Mr. and me. And we have decided that submissions for Smorgie Live will be every third Wednesday of the month. So the third Wednesday of every month. Of course, if something pops up and that has to be altered, we'll announce it. So you can mark your calendars every third Wednesday of the month. Next month is February 17th. So next month, February 17th, is the next Submissions for Smorgie Live. We will be talking about literacy and writing. And I'm super excited to announce that my special guest will be joining us live all the way from Colorado. And she is my writing guru. And it is none other than Dee Dee Wills from Mrs. Wills Kindergarten. So Dee Dee will be joining us next month for Submissions Live, and the date will be February 17th. So we're super excited to have Dee Dee joining us. And she's already nervous about the whole technology piece, but we'll work her through it, and it will be good. So I'm very excited to have Dee Dee joining us.
Still waiting on Sharice.
We'll give her a couple more minutes. So yeah, so I'm wondering, I want to look at my phone and see if I'm having a snow day tomorrow. But they'll probably wait till 4:30 in the morning like they did today. So, as we're waiting, and I always like to end by saying that, this isn't about me, and this isn't about, the Kindergarten Smorgasbord. This is about our kids, and that we're all in this together. We know teaching is hard, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on with teaching, and we have to remember that we're really there for one reason and one reason only, and that's for the kids. And we're there to give them the best possible education that we can. And that's why I like to do things like this, because I want to connect with teachers, because I feel energized and inspired and ready to go and teach the crap out of those kids tomorrow. And so, we're all in this together. We have to have each other's backs. We have to take care of each other. We have to lift each other up. We have to support each other. And I know we have hard days, and I know we have difficult students, but those are the kids that need us the most. And on those difficult days, that's when we have to take care of each other. So just remember that every day when you walk into that classroom, you have 12 to 24 to 32 little humans that rely on you and that love you and just think that you are the best thing since glitter. And so, I just go in every day with a happy heart and a positive attitude and give those kids the best possible experience you can every day. Don't get bogged down by the stuff and the standards and the mandates and the testing. Focus on the kids, put all of your energy into those kids, and let those kids know that number one, that you love them and you love them hard. And number two, give them the best possible school experience that you can every day, and send them home so excited and so energized and so pumped up that they can't wait to come back tomorrow. Every day at the end of the day, when I always say it's time to go home and clean up, I always get the, oh, I don't want to go, I want to stay with you. That's the best possible reaction you could have, because that lets you know that your kids are happy and they're safe and they're comfortable and they're excited and they want to be there. So if there's ever anything that I can do to help you, if there's ever anything you need, you can email me, you can Instagram me, you can find me on Twitter, Facebook. Let me know. I'm here to do whatever I can to help you. And just know that I love you all, and I think teachers are the best people in the world. And I know we have a hard job, but we have the best job in the world. And we just keep doing what you're doing and keep changing lives and keep being role models for your kids and being awesome at what you do.
Okay, so Sharice is not here apparently.
Okay.
She's still not answered. So we have another winner, and that is Michelle Saray, S-A-Y-R-E. I hope I'm not butchering that. It looks like Saray to me. Michelle Saray, you are the winner for 1 free year of ESGI. I just need to know if you are here. Please let me know in the chat.
All right, Michelle, if you're here, quickly say something to Jason. Say, hey, I'm here. It's me. I'm the winner. And we'll hook you up. So if you are near Chicago in March, we will be at the Illinois ASCD conference. And I know Adam from Teachers Learn 2 is here tonight. He will be there. I'm presenting a couple of sessions. Adam's presenting a couple of sessions. And I know Adam will have a booth. We'll have a booth. And I think Adam is planning something for Thursday night of the conference, some kind of live show, which I may or may not be a part of. So if you're going to be at the conference, make sure to come see us. If you're near Chicago, if you're in Illinois, or if you're in that area, check out the conference and get signed up so you can come see us. But we'll be there.
Still waiting for Michelle.
Melinda, Rochelle, Kristen, nobody wants ESGI tonight.
Oh, everybody wants ESGI. What are you talking about? Michelle Saray, last call. We're going to move on
here
to the next winner.
All right, let's pick somebody else.
Hold on, let me make sure I'm not missing it here. Sometimes it goes fast. Kimberly says that she's here, but she hasn't commented.
Michelle, where are you? Come on.
Oh, she did comment.
Oh, there she is.
Where? There was a Michelle that...
It makes me nervous.
Yeah, it was a different Michelle.
Oh.
Yeah. There was a Michelle that answered, but it wasn't Michelle Saray. That was a different Michelle, guys. Oh, she did say I butchered it. Okay, good. So they saw it. I didn't see it.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, Michelle, we will email you. I've got your email address here. So we would email you and let you know what you need to do to get that prize from ESGI. Congratulations.
Yes. And we got both winners. We're good?
Yep.
Awesome. All right. So February 17th, mark your calendars.
Michelle is Mary Jane. That's why I wasn't seeing it. Her name is Mary Jane on the chat,
okay.
But her email address is Michelle.
Right. So February 17th, mark your calendars. Dee Dee Wills is joining us all the way from Colorado. We'll be talking about all things literacy and writing. So, and then remember, the third Wednesday of every month will be submissions for Smorgie Live. We'll keep lining up some special guests. So again, thank you for taking an hour of your night and hanging out with us, and for the great conversations in the chat and for the great questions. And as always, if there's ever anything I can do for you, if there's ever anything you need, you have my email address. And last month, there was apparently a lot of questions about whether or not you can come to my classroom and observe. And the answer to that is always yes. We have lots of people in our classroom. People are always in there observing. And so my kids it doesn't even faze them anymore. Like, they're so used to people being there. So if you want to come to the classroom and visit, just shoot me an email, gregsmedley@gmail.com, and we can set that up. So again, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all that you do for kids. And thank you for being such amazing teachers, and for all of the support that you give me and the inspiration that you give me. And remember, #Happy Classrooms. And we will see you next month.
Before we go, a big shout out to Robin Carrier. She's a new grandma.
Yay, congratulations, Robin.
She's watching us tonight, so just wanted to throw out a big congrats to her. She's actually watching from the hospital room, I think, on her phone.
So which probably means Kevin and Tamara and the baby are watching. So hey guys, congratulations. We can't wait to see you guys this weekend. Yay, congratulations, Robin. All right. Thanks guys. Have a great night.